Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. 'Tis the end of the year. We are celebrating New Year's Eve, and for the festive occasion of the ending of a year and the beginning of a new year, we're going to do the top 5 perfumes for New Year's Eve. I'm dressed for the occasion, festivities, celebrations, what have you. You know, not to say you have to kind of dress up festively for the end of the year. Some people are really happy that the year is over, me included. It was one heck of a year this year, but no matter how you dress up, no matter what you do, no matter if you're the type of person, you fall asleep even before midnight, that's okay. But that kind of transition from that last day of the year and the first day of the new year, there's a little bit of emotional magic in the air there. So let's see what sort of selection I've kind of put together this year for us. First, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today of my Essentially Dacob perfume channel and gain access to extra perks. You can also follow me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. So thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. Let's jump into the New Year's festivities. Now, the first one, I have like all of them right in front of me here. They're really, really gorgeous. I don't know where to begin. Let's begin with a floral beauty. I guess I'm more silver and platinum today, but there's some gold missing. And this bottle actually has a combination of gold, silver, and purple. And that would, oh, look at that reflection of the light like a sun. But then it's a fingerprint magnet as well, so it's kind of dusty always. But it's Isobe's. It's so hard to see. Isobe's Gardenia. Oh my gosh, it is reflecting light like crazy. Isobe Gardenia, little 20s fragrance that's still in production. It's such a creamy... creamy, voluptuous, rich, dense gardenia mixed in with a lot of other products. I want to say flowers, musks, balmy, almost creamy textures to this fragrance. And it's just very, very opulent. It does take us back to the 20s, but it also gives us a sense of true luxury for the New Year's Eve. It's kind of a floral accord, but it's also a lotiony, balmy accord. I don't want to say resinous, but ambrosial is kind of more the word I'm looking for here. It's an ambrosial nectar type of floral accord. Very, 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 very in tune with champagne. It can go very well with bubbles of all kinds. And it just adds that air of sophistication and flair to your New Year's Eve party. So this is definitely a perfume that I would recommend wearing to a special event if you are invited to some special party, or if you are organizing a special party for New Year's Eve and you are into white florals in particular with an ambrosial touch. This is the one to go because it's super special, It's also slightly mysterious, but also slightly, in its own special way, a little bit ratchet cheap, a little hoish as well. So it's just waiting to get tipsy and then loosen up a little bit and then do stuff that, you might say what happens during New Year's Eve stays in the memory of New Year's Eve, and lips are sealed and shall not be spoken about in the new year. So there you go. It's sexy. It's very sexy. It's alluring. It invites other people around you in to come closer to you. It's very warm, so it's a cool party perfume in general. Now the next one is a big love of mine. I've been wearing this for decades. What can I say? And it's a vanilla-based, what used to be called Oriental. Now we call them ambery accords. I prefer Byzantine accords. It would be Yves Saint Laurent's Opium pour Homme in the Eau de Parfum concentration. You can also get the current version, which is bottled just like the Eau de Toilette in just a glass bottle without the exterior container. So this is also an Eau de Parfum as well as this one. In some countries, the eau de parfum is no longer distributed. So gorgeous. But it is still in production, in France at least. This bottle no longer in production with the refillable 50 ml inside, but this bottle is still in production. I prefer the eau de parfum to the eau de toilette because the eau de parfum has more vanilla. It's warmer. It's more of a festive scent, while the eau de toilette is more peppery and dry. But I do prefer the eau de parfum for New Year's Eve. And who doesn't remember, or who can or who could forget, for all perfume lovers, a younger version of Rupert Everett laying on that purpley red bed. He's kind of in a bathrobe, but you know, it's opening up a hot, and the camera is above him, twirling above him, and he's the face of Opium pour Homme, Eau de Toilette. And then Linda Evangelista in that same year was booked as the counterpart female model to promote Opium pour Femme. But Opium pour Homme, beautiful vanilla dry down. This thing is just, it smells very rich and opulent. Yes, it kind of matches this background as well. Very much this type of New Year's Eve like I'm envisioning for myself. living the fantasy. And just, I don't know, I'm choosing perfumes that are filling me up with joy, with warmth, that are filling me up with positive thoughts, positive vibes for the new year, you know, because this year has been a doozy. And I'm hoping that the next year is going to be more fun. And I'm just investing perfume-wise, smell-wise, not necessarily money-wise, but investing in a special warm smell that is like a promise or an invitation to a better new year. That's the idea behind these perfumes. So, Opium pour Homme, Eau de Parfum. Oh, baby, this is amazing. The next one is Chanel. And of course, you know, it could not be a selection by Super D without a Chanel perfume. And this year for New Year's Eve, I'm going very bubbly, sparkly. I'm going platinum. My little Chanel platinum ring there. You guessed it. So festive. 1932. Coincidentally, the same year that Chanel, well, coincidentally, it was done on purpose, obviously, that the perfume is called 1932. This was the year Coco Chanel launched her only ever fine jewelry collection called Platinum and Diamonds. And it still to this day is really the only jewelry collection that I love. That's for me how jewelry should be done. It is, and in fact, Coco said it. She's like, this is the one and done deal. This is what I love. I designed it. No need to do it again. So brilliant. And of course, the Chanel brand makes jewelry today. But Coco, that was that one time she did jewelry. She did that one collection and she was good. Of course she was good. It's the best collection of jewelry you've ever seen, well, that I've ever seen in my life. Of course, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. And it is my opinion that this concoction, and I have the eau de toilette here, is a masterpiece, okay? So it's supposed to sparkle like diamonds. And it's supposed to have that cold touch of platinum. And there's a pear note in here, right? And coincidentally, you know, we do have such things as pear-shaped diamonds. Well, believe it or not, this has a pear note in the opening, and then it goes a little bit musky. The bubbly aldehydes make this so champagne quality. The Eau de Parfum version, which you can find in Chanel boutiques today, is a little bit warmer. I do prefer the Eau de Toilette because it has a cold heart, as cold as diamonds and as cold as platinum. But you could also get it in the Extrait version, the Parfum, which is also warmer than the Eau de Toilette. However, I don't know, if I had to choose, I would definitely go with the Eau de Toilette, but since it's discontinued, then I would probably go with the Extrait. Although I would purchase in a pharmacy like one of those little glass bottles, like a 20 ml glass bottle with a sprayer in it, and then I would kind of take my splash Extrait, because they only sell the Extrait as a splash, and I would pour that into the spray bottle, and I would spray myself with 1932 Extrait. It's not as elegant as dabbing the little Extrait bottle. I mean, I have here an example, an empty bottle of number 22, you know. And why is this one empty? Because I poured it into a spray bottle. Yeah, because I love my Extreme number 22 sprayed. It's more opulent that way. So that's kind of something to consider about 1932, and you can take it with you to your party. You know, you pour the Extrait into a spray bottle, the little tiny spray bottle, vial, whatever it is, you take it with you. You can freshen up throughout the night. Very, 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 very good perfume, 1932. And I rarely put this in my lists, but New Year's Eve, end of year and New Year's Eve, it really hits the spot. It's very festive, very opulent, and very rich. It smells rich. So it's a good omen, you know, like a good invitation for the new year, like saying to the new year, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to be successful. I'm ready to get it all, honey, to take it all in. I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm not going to stand in my own way, blocking my own passage to the other side of riches. You know what I mean? Wear and behave and be the way you want to be. You could say fake it till you make it, but you could also say feel it till it becomes real and not just a dream. Speaking of dreams, the next one is also Yves Saint Laurent, believe it or not. And dream, yes, because this one is discontinued. So I was like debating, do I put it in the list or not? Because it's really hard to get and it's getting really pricey at this point. But I think this is, of the entire selection today, this is the most opulent for the new year. And again, we got that gold everywhere. Noble leather fingerprint magnet again. I did polish these before I filmed, but forget about it. They just, everything sticks to them. Noble leather by Yves Saint Laurent from their what used to be called Oriental collection, and that word we don't use anymore. It's not politically correct, so we'll go. Leather, saffron, dried fruits, vanilla, patchouli. You see, vanilla is kind of our common denominator for almost all of these fragrances because that warmth is needed for the end of the year, I believe. But oh my gosh, the saffron, the dried fruits. Yeah, and then there's this metallic accord in there as well that makes this smell like a certain drug, a white one. But how would I know? I wouldn't know. But that's how this smells. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know I'm innocent. Okay. So anyway, this is a party perfume. New Year's Eve with champagne and whatever else you have in mind. I do not recommend. Stay healthy, people. I would never recommend any of that. Never. Oh my God. Anyway, I have such little of this stuff left. Okay, look at this. But look at the juice color. I mean, Noble Leather by Yves Saint Laurent. I really don't know why they discontinued this, but this is one of the first batches ever made. I bought this the second it was released. I smelled it at a perfume counter and I was like, you know, I smelled it and then my pupils went and I was like Roger the alien from American Dad when he does a little sound. My pupils went like, okay, yeah, I'm buying this right here, right now. And the sales associate is like, yeah, but would you like to try? I'm like, no. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, honey. Wrap it up. We're taking this baby home. It smells like something. I told her. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like, girl, don't act like you don't know. So anyway, I have a wonderful memory connected to this perfume. And it's just the perfect New Year's Eve fragrance, really. Anyway, that was number 4. Number 5. Okay, so I was torn, right? Because like I said, this one is discontinued, but I just love it so much. So Noble Leather by Yves Saint Laurent had to be there, even though it's discontinued. But then here's one that is really, really elegant if you're more up for a subdued New Year's Eve, or dapper. I mean, you could spend New Year's Eve alone, and a lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is kind of a social event and a social gathering. So you're technically, I guess, better off emotionally if you do spend it with someone you know or love or friends or whatever. Could be also a business affair. Could be an affair. But so this fragrance in particular is sober. Dapper, sober, very gentlemanlike, very, dressed up in a suit, tie, but could be not just friends and family related New Year's Eve, but could be also professional. I almost envision this as a James Bond type of event and party where James Bond is wearing this perfume and it's very, very sexy, very manly, and but so different from everything else out there that it really, really kind of perks the interest of, or the interests of all the people in the room. They kind of look at you and they want to come closer to smell. It's very masculine. And I know perfumes know no gender, at least in my book they don't. But this perfume really has a beautiful, elegant, dapper masculinity to it. And it's kind of rare. It's not so easy to find these days. Love it to bits. This is definitely a New Year's Eve fragrance for me. And it would be Spanish leather cologne. The Cologne Spanish leather by Geo F. Trumper, founded in 1875. Perfumer, Mayfair, and St. James, London, darling. This has some oak moss in it, well listed as tree moss. And I am wearing it today, but I'm going to spritz on a little bit more, just, It's that old worldly, look at that little stopper there, the little crown, the crown jewel. This is a beauty. Spanish leather cologne. There it is. It's a 50 ml cologne that you can take with you, to the event, to the party. And of course, it's a cologne. Of course, that means it has its citruses, its opening, its bergamotti, citrusy, blah, blah, blah. But then it goes into that cardamom-y, nutmeggy vibe. It's warm and cooling at the same time. It's spicy, just the right amount. It's barbershop meets hyper dapper chic. Very, very James Bond New Year's Eve party. Dangerous. This man is dangerous, but makes you feel safe while you're around them. And then you might regret it the morning after when you do your walk of shame. But until then, he will make you feel like you never wanted for anything more in your life, That's the smell. It's very much the New Year's Eve inviting the future in. Oh, man. Ooh, live and ferret. And because, here's a little bonus for those of you who made it this far. Just because Noble Leather is discontinued, right? Let's not do a New Year's Eve party and we can't buy these perfumes and enjoy them because one is discontinued, Dacob being a party pooper. No, Dacob delivers a number 6, which is a bonus fragrance. If you can't really get your hands on Noble Leather, anybody can get their hands on this beauty. And I do believe that Thierry Mugler really, really knows how to party and knows how to envision a future, whether it be through fashion or also smell. His aesthetic is very future oriented. And so nothing better than to be oriented towards the future while we are celebrating the end of a year and the beginning of a new year with Amen by Thierry Mugler. This one definitely as our little bonus fragrance. Again, patchouli. Again, there's also vanilla in here. It's super warm. There's coffee, tobacco. Let's layer it with my Spanish leather cologne. Magical. This, of course, is maybe more a perfume you would wear if your New Year's Eve party is happening in a club, you know, a restaurant, some social gathering where there's really loud music, where, you know, some places, if it's a private big gathering, people are allowed to smoke. There's dancing, sweat, heat, all of that combined with this. Because don't forget, this one was developed and released in a time where smoking was allowed almost everywhere. You know what I mean? So the intensity of this perfume and its smell is kind of also made to combat all the other smells that are out there, or that were out there. Nowadays, well, we don't really have so many of those smells. So perfumes are becoming more and more bland because everything has to be office friendly. But I don't think we should do office friendly on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve should be strong, aggressive, but in a joyful way, in a voluptuous way, you know, in a sensual way, you know, aggressive in a way to say, I am ready. I don't have to think about this 1 second. I want to take you. I want to take everything. You know what I mean? This is the moment. I want to enjoy it to the fullest. And I think Amen is playful enough. It doesn't take itself too seriously, you know. It's sexy, it's very vibrant, but at the same time, it's full of humor. It has a good, healthy sense of humor. So it's a perfect perfume for New Year's Eve. It's kind of, you know, sarcastically laughing at what the year has been that is now ending, and you could like laugh and say, oh, isn't life a doozy? It always has a sense of humor, a very sarcastic sense of humor, so we should just go with the flow, you know. Life delivers us lemons, we make lemonade, life is like ebb and the tide, you know, it kind of comes and retracts, washes over you, let it, you know, play with its sense of humor. Don't try to change the way that life has its sense of humor. Accept it, embrace it, go with it, laugh when it laughs, cry when it cries, and then you're going to notice all of a sudden you're flowing in that universe right the way you should be, you know. Amen to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've had as good as possible a year, and I hope you're going to have an even more wonderful and splendid new year. I'm wishing everybody success, health, joy, happiness, scented moments, wonderful fragrances. Here's hoping for brand new, incredible releases for the next year as well. So wishing you all the best in the new year. And until we meet again, somewhere in the future, never forget to never give up on love. Take care, guys. Thumb up this video and subscribe. Bye.